For the first time in history, China is experiencing a new generation of children born into extreme wealth.
How rich are your clients?
Multi-billionaire.
And they're choosing to spend their money in London.
It's just a very great place to be.
Lovely.
The people, the British mannerism, the British humour.
How about that?
200 years after their forefathers came as labourers, then restaurateurs, the Chinese are heading west again, this time bringing their millions.
This is one of the best royal suite in London. All of this is 23-carat gold.
I thought China was communist.
There's no equal in society, never.
But what is it about Britain that appeals to the children who have everything? And who are the people only too keen to help them spend their cash?
Come back to the house and we'll have a, I don't know, tea or something.
These are the new Chinese. Until now, notoriously private, but finally ready to make themselves heard. China, the meteoric rise of a superpower. In the last 30 years, it has quickly become one of the world's richest countries and now has more billionaires than anywhere else on Earth. 10 years ago, only a trickle of Chinese visitors made it to the UK. But this year, we'll see around 330,000 heading to these shores. Most are tourists, but some are among the wealthiest people on Earth, and they're keen to stay.
I think maybe I'm an interesting person and I have something special to say and to tell.
Billionaire heiress Wendy Yu is the 26-year-old daughter of a Chinese door manufacturer. She was born in China and her family still live there. But Wendy has chosen London as her new home.
Well, I just love the atmosphere here, and I love the people I meet here, and I love the events happening here. I love the things I could do here. I just love this city, and it's my home now. So in China, I can't log on to Instagram or Google or Gmail. So it's like in terms of communication, I think here it's better to communicate.
Why can't you get onto Instagram in China?
I think there is a censorship, yes. But let's not talk about politics, yeah.
Wendy lives alone in a luxury apartment in the heart of Knightsbridge with her vast collection of Barbie dolls.
These parts are all my designer Barbies. I feel they are like my little friends.
How many have you got?
I think in total I have about 150 in this house. This Barbie here is from Dolce & Gabbana. So it's a very, very special Barbie.
Are they expensive?
I think they are priceless.
Among her favourites is a very famous British couple.
This is Prince William and Duchess of Cambridge. It's like, this is designed, inspired by their wedding. I think if maybe for my wedding, we would have the Barbie made of my fiancé and myself. That'd be a nice thing.
30 years ago, there were no super rich in communist China. But Wendy is part of the first generation to be born into great wealth.
I was very, very lucky, and my dad was already very successful.
These billionaire offspring are of intense interest to the Chinese media, and Wendy is something of a celebrity back home. She even has her own makeup artist and photographer to maintain her glamorous image.
I think they are very interested in the second generation of the rich in China because the social environment at the moment. But I would only wanted to present myself in the right way.
Unfortunately, thanks to social media, the antics of some of Wendy's more wayward compatriots haven't gone down so well back home. The sight of the children of China's political and business elite burning money for fun and smashing up their supercars has prompted a fierce backlash. The son of the richest man in China caused outrage when he bought 2 gold Apple watches for his dog.
Everybody who were born in that circumstance could be spoiled or with privilege, but I'm looking to make more positive social impact, and I'm looking to do more meaningful things.
Wendy is keen to silence the critics and show she can become a successful businesswoman in her own right.
I have a huge responsibility in terms of the family heritage because I'm the only child, and I want to be a good daughter.
Wendy's main business is investing in online companies, including a $16.5 billion app for taxis that's been a success in China.
They have 80% of the market share, while Uber have less than 20%. So in China, it's an app you must use. Don't hate me, Uber.
Wendy may be involved in multi-billion-dollar deals at the age of 26, but her father is still one of the most successful men in China, and she will be expected to live up to his standards.
Do you think you can be more successful than him?
I hope so. I hope so. That would make him really proud. That's one of his wishes and dreams as well, so I hope I can fulfill that.
London is becoming the city of choice for billionaires like Wendy. It's an easy place to do business, and the opportunity to shop till you drop is second to none. Last year, the Chinese spent £500 million in the UK, more than any other visitors. 28-year-old Sean is a private jeweler for super-rich Chinese. A billionaire client is on the phone, asking him to buy a ring he wants, with a budget of £200,000.
So it's a guy buying this ring?
Yes, he's a gentleman. He loves big diamonds. I didn't fall asleep last night. It's only 3 or 4 hours. Every time I got a big deal, I can't fall asleep. It's very tight and very intense for me. Hopefully, I will get this deal today. And I'm getting into the shop now. Yes.
Sean receives 10% commission for the deals he makes on behalf of his clients. The Chinese are famously picky about who they do business with.
For Chinese culture, it's very profoundly important to build the trust. And to build that trust, I think the two essences are first, you have to look like Chinese, and second is you have to speak the language. Yes.
Sean's upbringing in China was modest, but now his turnover is already over £1 million. He's ambitious and wants to expand his business by setting up a new concierge company called Mayfair Chan, catering to the whims of the Chinese super-rich.
I live at Mayfair, and this is a hot location for all the high net worth clients. I love Mayfair.
We are 95% there.
Okay.
You know, we need to just get it signed off.
Yes, I'm really pleased.
Sean's not the only one finding opportunity in this new Chinese wealth. The UK government knows how useful this can be to the economy, and last year rolled out the red carpet for Chinese President Xi Jinping. His trip contributed to £40 billion worth of investment.
The Premier welcomed through the door at number 10 with a handshake from David Cameron, before overseeing the official sign-off of a string of government-to-government deals.
Now the Chinese have acquired stakes in many household names, including those in a famous street in central London, where some of Britain's oldest shops are located. Tailors have been cutting cloth at Savile Row for over 200 years for some of the most famous figures in history.
Winston Churchill, who was a customer from about 1905, Charles de Gaulle, Toulouse-Lautrec, Charles Dickens, Bram Stoker.
Now, though, some of these shops in the row have Chinese money behind them.
It's been taken over by the Chinese and other people that are doing a type of bespoke tailoring, but it's not. It's more almost a ready-made type of garment. That's not Savile Row, and that's not what people want.
The oldest tailors on the row are Henry Poole, All the suits here are entirely handmade and can cost up to £32,000.
We're about to celebrate this year 170 years of being on the road. When you actually think about it, you think, gosh, yes, that is quite something.
They're one of the few tailors left that are still British-owned. They have very few Chinese customers, which is something sales manager Anthony is keen to change.
I'm pretty certain there is a big Chinese market out there. I don't know how many millionaires they've got out there, but there's enough.
Oh, I can tell you, actually, billionaires, it's 593.
Wow, okay. That's... well, there you go, you see. So we want to be out there taking a slice of it.
Henry Poole has been slow to embrace modern technology, but Anthony has heard the Chinese do all their business on an app called WeChat. It has 550 million users in China, and Anthony sees it as a means to reach more potential customers.
Anyway, that is the right thing, isn't it? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, now what I've got to do is just get people signed up. But at least I managed to get it on the phone, which is something.
Have you got any contacts?
Not yet. I think I need to give a bit of a profile first. I'll figure it out.
Anthony's hoping to use his new app to enter the Chinese market and drag his business into the 21st century.
V5 faux fum. I smell the blood of a Chinaman.
Quintessentially English town of handsome terraces and leafy charm. Many Chinese covet this tradition and heritage and gather here to have romantic photos taken next to cobbled streets and listed buildings.
英国就是建筑都很漂亮，然后也比较浪漫。
Except this isn't England. This is just outside of Shanghai. Thames Town was built 10 years ago as a replica town for aspirational Chinese to experience the flavour of a typical English community without actually leaving China and flying over to London. But now, with more disposable income and the relaxing of travel restrictions, more and more Chinese are doing the English experience for real and flying over to the UK.
Even if I've been here so many times, it still looks spectacular for me.
Many of the Chinese visitors are couples who hire photographers to snap them in front of London's famous landmarks, particularly those featured in films. This is the real Tower Bridge.
I will remember forever. In the future, I will show this photo to my children or to my family. I think this is a good thing.
Ray Wu is a wedding photographer specializing in Chinese couples.
This year, it's around more than 200 couples have done so far. So we have many double bookings, which means we have two jobs. We have two photographers, two teams to cover the photo shoot.
Business is booming. Ray's now opened his own wedding photography studio in London for couples who want to mock up a fairy tale British wedding.
That's England.
That's England, yeah. But it doesn't look like quite England, does it?
The Chinese tend to only hire Chinese photographers because they have a style many Europeans don't share. What's unusual is that many of these couples have already married back in China, sometimes years ago.
Do you think people in China will think they got married there?
No.
Because it looks so realistic when I look at that.
It's so realistic.
Xiaoling Wu and Jianbin Huang married 6 months ago and have travelled 5,000 miles from China. Now they're getting ready for the big shoot.
Why do you want to have your photos done in the UK?
Because I studied in the UK, this is the first reason. The UK have a special meaning to me.
Is he your husband or your fiancé?
I think it's a husband.
Back in communist China, the official marriage ceremony tends to be a far more Spartan affair than the romance these couples seek in a British wedding. If you're gonna do it, pick a good church. Ray takes them to St. Paul's Cathedral.
Do you ever get, locals stopping you and having interest in what you're up to?
They are, most of them, they be starting by asking, oh, they're getting married today. I say, nope, they've already got married. 愉悦一点那种，对。We're trying to create a sort of a joyful, motion picture. So they'll be running towards the camera. 牵手，对，然后发现。
Every day, scores of Chinese couples have photos taken outside the famous cathedral doors.
Sometimes there's a queue, so I need to wait a little bit before we can move to the right location.
And is the queue always Chinese?
The queue is always Chinese.
But there's a problem. A cathedral official has spotted them.
Have you got permission to film here?
Normally we can do it in here. No? Oh, really? Okay, sorry. Oh, I see. Okay, sure.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
If you want permission, you just have to write to our PR.
Okay, sure. I think we just done. Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Private jeweller Sean was born in China, but moved to the UK when he was 20. After a stint as a private banker, Sean decided to use his contacts and start working for the super-rich Chinese.
How rich are your clients?
Multi-billionaire, yes. And they love spending that. And thank God, if there's no rich client, if there's no client who want to spend the money on luxury, where are we going to be?
Sean's got a plan to set up a concierge business for his rich clients when they visit London. And he might have his first billionaire client.
This is one of our small tools, the toy that we like to use and play around.
Mr. Teo is chairman of the China Horse Club, which has some of the richest men in Asia as members. It costs $1 million just to join.
There she is.
Betting is banned in China, so Mr. Teo goes abroad to buy his horses. Today he's in Ireland to buy the most expensive horse at an auction.
Do you remember me? Give me a walk, please. I mean, that's your supermodel.
Supermodels don't get out of bed for small change.
We made the record in the whole year in terms of the amount paid. It's only about euro 1.7 million.
Mr. Teo is firmly in Sean's sights as a useful connection for his concierge company. He's arranged to meet him at a top private members club in London.
His lifestyle is travel all the time. And this is the client I want, and this is the client who can fit in our criteria.
Based on my experience, our client, if they're first time in London, they love to go to like Harrods, Bond Street, everywhere. And we can organize personal shopping, a very top Michelin restaurant the same day. If you want to have dinner with David Beckham, we can organize. Yes.
But Mr. Teo's got something else in mind for his club members.
Do you have events related to the royalties?
Royalty as well.
Castle.
Yes.
The jewelries.
Yes, we can do that for sure. We can't tell specifically how, but we did that. Yes.
Going forward, 2016, definitely, I think, Sean, there are probably areas that we can cap out.
Yes.
Okay?
20 years ago, billionaires like Mr. Teo didn't exist in China.
I thought the Chinese were communists.
Communist. There's no conflict between being a communist and consuming luxury product. For me, this is the current reality.
But isn't everyone meant to be equal in communism?
Equal? There's no equal in society, never.
Whilst China has maintained its communist status, vast inequality has emerged in the country. Wendy Yu's family have made their billions under the Chinese Communist Party rule.
My father started his company about 26 years ago. Now we have around 1,000 retailing stores in mainland China and 4,000 employees. And we are the biggest wooden door manufacturers in Asia.
Wendy has traveled back to China to help her father with his wooden door business. The factory is the size of a small town, with employees living on site and a ferocious work ethic encouraged.
高档装修，用梦天木门。
Wendy has come to help with the press launch for a new advertising campaign for the business. The advert is fronted by one of China's biggest film stars, Andy Lau, China's answer to George Clooney.
高档装修，用梦天木门。
The press launch is a huge multi-million-pound celebrity event and includes Andy Lau walking through doors. Wendy is a fan of Andy Lau, but there's one person she looks up to above all others, her father.
I want to build my own success and have the career that I'm proud of, and have the career and the business that my father is proud of, my family is proud of as well.
Only child Wendy has scheduled a meeting with her father. She wants to impress him with the $16.5 billion taxi app she's invested in. Her father isn't overly impressed, but Wendy's used to it.
In China, we have the parents tend to have very high standard, and from we were very young, we were asked to work very hard to make our family proud. I think that's part of the reason that China is growing so strong.
Wendy's father's success is a rags to riches story. He grew up in extreme poverty and under the repressive rule of Communist Party leader Chairman Mao. But despite this, many of Wendy's father's generation still revere Mao. And there is a museum in Shanghai devoted to the infamous leader.
My dad is a huge fan of Mao Zedong, but my grandpa is actually Youpai. During the Cultural Revolution, but my dad...
Youpai, you see the poster here,
yeah.
Youpai were the victims of a purge in 1957, instigated by Mao, where intellectuals were arrested, including Wendy's grandfather.
So intellectuals became the demons.
Yes, that's true. That's why they were being sent to the prison, or they were being sent to the villages.
Yeah, so this is 1957. 10% of Chinese intellectuals became rightist. That means they will be enemy of the people. It's very bad.
I wasn't born, and my dad was still very young, but I think in some ways it shaped my dad and his siblings' strong personality and strong character.
50 years ago, Wendy's family were Maoist dissidents, in danger of persecution. Now, they're amongst the richest people in the world. China's economy has boomed in recent years, and business investment from its new super-rich has been courted in Britain throughout the recent recession. More and more iconic British brands are being bought by the Chinese. Even the famous London taxis are now owned by a company from China. Some of Britain's oldest brands are located in Savile Row, but now many of these historic shops have Chinese investment. The founders of Savile Row are the tailors Henry Poole. They're still British-owned, but sales manager Anthony is desperate to get a slice of the Chinese market.
I think they built the world's tallest man, haven't they? Yeah. I mean, in a sense, it would be quite nice to do him because it would be quite a talking point.
Today, a Chinese fashion blogger called Tony Lin is exploring Savile Row.
Hello, sir. How do you do? I'm Anthony Brown. Oh, hello.
Thank you.
Okay, pleasure.
Tony Lin is interested in doing a blog about some of the shop's most historic suits.
This is a Privy Council uniform that we used to make between 1846 and 1947. This is a coachman's livery that we made for a customer, for his coachman.
Tony Lin is famous back in China, and more importantly for Anthony, famous on WeChat.
I've just signed up to WeChat. Yes, well, I probably won't be able to understand it, but...
So
that would be great because he has the WeChat account as well. Then you
Excellent.
can be the...
Okay, so we can converse. So I'm afraid that I'm very slow on it, so forgive me, but I will try and speed up.
Scan the barcode.
Okay.
Anthony attempts to become friends with Tony Lin.
Okay, this is how I start with WeChat, though.
Oh, you can take a picture of me now, actually.
This is the first time for him to use this.
This is
using WeChat.
This is a brave new world.
Anthony does his first post.
Here at Henry Pool with Tony, and looking forward to connecting on WeChat.
Yeah. You can type it in.
Oh, right, sorry.
Comments
okay, sorry. There we go. There's more material. I thought I was just talking to it. There we go. All right.
Anthony is hoping Tony Lin will recommend his shop to some of his Chinese friends online.
Okay. He's obviously very well connected on WeChat. By the sounds of it, he has tens of thousands. So it's a good start. I just hope I can keep up with it all. But I think it's been a successful afternoon.
The tailors of Savile Row have always clothed the British upper classes. But this class system is something that doesn't exist in communist China. And some say this is why they're fascinated with English heritage and traditions.
Well, I think they love going to stately homes and mixing with aristocracy. They are very interested in the royal family. They have got their own very special things in their country, but this is something they don't have.
In recent years, there's been a huge increase in wealthy young Chinese girls signing up to the London season, including billionairess Wendy Yu. This is an exclusive course to coach young girls in the art of becoming a lady. It seems you don't actually need to be born into the system to be part of it.
Lovely to have you here, Wendy.
Wendy spends the next week learning important skills, such as wearing a tiara.
They're worn like that, and that's precisely wonderfully worn. That's exactly how it should be. The only thing is, don't drop it.
Next, Wendy goes to the English National Ballet School to learn how to hold the correct posture.
What I'd like to do is actually make you stand as swans. For the bra and back. Think regal.
Brilliant.
Then, Wendy heads to the Duke of Somerset's stately home.
Are we all here? Yeah, let's make our way down.
Where she's expected to master the art of clay pigeon shooting.
Pull!
Whoa!
Pull! Oh, well done. Is that it? Right, this is Wendy.
Right, have you ever done this before?
No.
No? Yeah, bring the gun down to there. Okay, pull. You shoot at the thing. You don't actually fire when you say pull. You
Okay.
Pull.
Yeah, as David said, the pull is for Jason to do something. You only fire when it's up in the sky.
Yeah. Okay.
But as soon as it gets above the trees there, then you should fire.
Okay,
Have one more go.
I won't shout pull this time. I'll just wave it, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Well done, everybody. You did well.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good. Splendid. Come back to the house and we'll have a, I don't know, tea or something.
Yeah.
Good.
At the end of the week, it's graduation time. Wendy's father has come all the way from China to accompany his daughter to the grand ball later that evening.
We're very late now. Wendy, you are number 8.
Mr. Yu is a self-made man who hasn't come face to face with British aristocracy before.
Can you all stop talking, please?
At the rehearsal, Wendy's keen to impress him.
Like that in the procession. Okay. You really need to walk with dignity and slowly. And this applies to absolutely everyone, although I have to say everyone else has walked in a very nice way.
Her walk is a success.
Elizabeth?
But some of the other debutantes find the Texan dip curtsy more challenging. The debutante of the year will be announced at tonight's ball.
We've already made up our mind. It's what they've put into the season, how they've behaved, etc. And so that's why we've chosen them, for a very good reason. But you know, I can't say.
Wendy would dearly like to impress her father by taking the crown.
Probably it's going to be the most significant ceremony before my wedding with my fiancé. So it's nice to have this with my father and with my family here.
Private jeweller to billionaires, Sean, has big dreams of winning his first client for his concierge business, horse owner Mr. Teo. But Mr. Teo has set Sean a challenge before he'll hire him. He's asked Sean to find the best hotel room in London for his visit in a week.
Hello. Yes.
Sean checks out the Lanesborough to see if it's up to scratch.
For me, this is one of the best royal suite in London. It's almost in the palace.
The royal suite can cost £31,000 a night, the most expensive hotel room in the UK.
All of this is 23-carat gold plated. This hotel, Lansborough, because you have the private butler, so no matter what kind of requests you have, we can always provide the best service for them.
Sean's Chinese clients have very particular requests.
We definitely, before them, gonna remove the mirror, because the mirror you can never facing the bed for them. It's a bad energy, feng shui. Yes.
For Sean's super wealthy clients, only the best will do. China's capital, Beijing, and an unlikely shop is located in a hotel shopping mall. A Chinese investor has set up an exact replica of Savile Row Taylor's Henry Poole.
What? Obviously a suit, but what are you looking for?
Sales manager Anthony and head tailor Tom have gone over to conduct some fittings.
35 3/4 front. 35 3/4 front.
Yep.
Okay.
In Henry Poole, it's not about the suit that you actually wear. I think it's actually a lot more about the experience with Tom, with Anthony.
Anthony sees the trip as a perfect opportunity to use his new WeChat app so he can drum up business for his shop back in London.
Nice to meet you. Apparently they have 500 million users. So if we get 1% of that, that's going to be 5 million. And I've got 11 so far. So, we've started. Ni hao. Ni hao.
Anthony decides to upload a video to WeChat so people can see what the shop in China is like.
Also, we have a fireplace, and we have the copies of the royal warrants here, and hopefully you will enjoy your time here with Nina and David. You know what? I've just realised something. I've been doing quite a good job there, apart from one thing. I wasn't videoing it. Will someone tell me how to use this?
用没有啊？怎么用？怎么用？
Oh, blimey. Just remind me to press the button,
因为我
okay?
看你这儿没走嘛。
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry.
One,
no.
two, three, four.
Yes. So.
Anthony finally manages to press record and uploads the video onto WeChat.
Hello. It may take some time, though. What are you doing for lunch? Because I think by the time lunch is finished, this might have sent.
It's the night of the Grand Ball, the culmination of Wendy Yu's London season course. Wendy is accompanied by her father, who's come all the way from China to present her. At the end of the evening, the debutante of the year will be announced, and Wendy's hoping to impress her father by taking the title.
Mr. Fan Yong Kong and Miss Carol Kong.
This year, a quarter of the girls are from China, but they're up against stiff competition, including Boris Becker's daughter.
Sir Tobias Clark and Miss Anna Becker. Mr. Yu and Miss Wendy Yu.
After her training, Wendy gets her walk just right. It's time for the debutante of the year to be announced.
And so, for the first time in 235 years, we have joint debutantes of the year. And they are Ritsima Ayuli Jamid and Amira Rayner. Would you please come forward?
Wendy hasn't won, and her parents go home.
They left really early. They had a really huge jet lag, but they have been able to witness the ceremony and the procession.
Is your dad proud of you?
I think they're proud of their country and about what China has achieved today.
Last year, one of the most famous pop stars in Asia, Jay Chou, chose Selby Abbey in Yorkshire for his wedding. Neither he nor his bride had any previous connection to the area. They felt the historic abbey was the perfect setting for their lavish ceremony. The extravagant video he made of his wedding became a sensation in China. Now, Selby Abbey has become something of a pilgrimage site for hundreds of Chinese fans who are enchanted with the fairy tale video.
We know this church because of Jay Chou's wedding, and we saw that their video is really beautiful.
I love him. I think it's my dream place is to have the wedding. Yeah.
I think most of the people wouldn't know Selby Abbey before Jay.
While back at home, the Chinese government offers guidelines on how to have a frugal wedding, there is now no stopping the children of its billionaires from living out the Western fairy tale dream. Chinese jeweler Sean has had some good news.
Hello, is that Mr. Teo?
Hi, Sean, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Potential client, billionaire Mr. Teo, is impressed with Sean's choice of hotel for his trip to London and has hired him as his concierge.
Welcome to the Mayfair China Club. I will book your hotel for the upcoming trip.
Perfect, Sean.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful service.
My pleasure. It is a quite big deal for me. Yes, I'm really pleased.
It's been 2 months since sales manager Anthony downloaded his WeChat app in an attempt to access more Chinese customers.
Have you had any Chinese customers?
Not that I'm aware of, not in the last month or so.
Anthony's enjoying a new function in the app that connects him to potential customers if he shakes his phone.
It makes a noise as well. Well, someone has shaken their phone, but they unfortunately happen to be about 5,389 kilometres away, which is not quite as close as I was hoping for.
The all-important Chinese clients are proving elusive, but things have always moved steadily at Henry Poole.
Yeah, we've been around 200 plus years, and obviously we've taken our time to get this far. We're in no immediate rush.
Budding entrepreneur Wendy Yu has yet to prove to her father she has what it takes to succeed in business, even though she's been busy investing in various online ventures.
I think there is something different between Chinese parents and maybe English parents. Though maybe they are really proud of you at their heart, but they wouldn't really express that. They would encourage you to achieve more and to do more, rather than saying you are great.
Her business acumen has been recognized in other quarters, though, and she's been nominated for the Young Achiever of the Year by a Chinese business foundation.
So for our first award, it's for the Young Achiever of the Year. Dave? And I would now like to invite Wendy to join us here on the stage.
Thank you so much for the Mulan Awards Committee for honoring me the Young Achiever of 2015, and I hope to make positive differences and contributions to both British and the Chinese societies. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again to Wendy. Thank you so much for being citizen.
Wendy tells her father she's the Young Achiever of the Year, but his response is typical.
My dad said to me, it's just a very small thing in your lifelong journey. You should be more focused on what you are going to achieve. It's just a very small thing in your life. Yeah.
It looks like Wendy may never get the praise she craves from her father. But perhaps this is the Chinese way, to keep striving for more.
Oops, sorry, you have stuff on.
Their wealth may be extreme, but the new Chinese super-rich have certainly not adopted the British sense of entitlement. For some, this relentless quest to succeed has lifted China out of extreme poverty to make it an economic superpower. Now, more and more Chinese are heading to Britain, not just to enjoy the social freedom the West offers, but like many before them, they are determined to make and spend their fortunes on foreign shores.